What's going on, man? It's your boy D House TV. I am the fake YouTube MVP, and we back, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally back. It's been a long awaited time since our Giants franchise. For those of you who were here on our Giants franchise, man, it's been quite a while. We are no longer on the Xbox for starters. I got rid of that Xbox some years ago, but we are back, and as you can see by the background, we are going to take over the Atlanta Falcons. Um, and I got big plans for this Falcons team. We've had this league active for about 3 or 4 days now. Um, as y'all can see, a couple people have got some games in. It isn't an entirely full league. I believe there are 6 users altogether. So just kind of something to throw together. As time goes on, I do want to actually make this like a full-on league where, you make the content for YouTube, you get a little something extra, kind of the way they do the Legacy League. Um, uh, for those of you who do watch other Madden YouTubers, Daquan Kush is how I found out about it. So that's who I watch, and he, funnily enough, actually has the Panthers this year in Madden. But enough about all the other shenanigans, man. Let's get right into it. We're gonna break down this roster, and we're going to really just break down the roster for this first game. The next game I will actually be streaming. I'm going to stream the game right after I finish recording this. So by the time you see this, the game will have already been played and it might already be up on YouTube as well. I'm going to just try and stream everything on YouTube, just have everything all in one place, make everything simple for everybody. And then once I get my computer back up and running, I might do Twitch and actually edit the videos, chop them down, and things like that. But for now, I just want to get back to it, so I'm just going to do the least amount of work that it takes to do it. So, with all that being said, as you can see, this Atlanta Falcons team has a tad bit of a different rating, I believe. That's because, like I said, the league has been active for a couple of days. So, we are going to get into this roster and go over everything that is here. Starting with the quarterback position, Desmond Ridder is our highest rated quarterback, but he will not be our starter to start the season. Neither will Taylor Heineke. Malik Willis out of Liberty University, traded from the Titans. I did acquire him. I actually did trade for him. We don't have a Titan user, but I did upgrade the trade logic to hard, if I'm not mistaken. So Malik Willis will be our starting quarterback, and the 94 throw power is a big reason why. That 42 awareness is really what's dragging his overall down because his accuracies aren't horrible, not the best under pressure, but that 90 speed will be game changing. The 83 juke and 80 spin. No, I'm not going to run the ball like crazy because when we get to our running back room, there is more than enough carries back there. But just the ability to have that option to to run the ball with my quarterback on like play action boots, read options, things like that. It's always an amazing thing. I always love having a mobile quarterback. Last year, I actually did not have a mobile quarterback, and it really kind of worked out. I didn't think I'd do good, but regardless, Malik Willis will be our starter week 1. He will play. I will give him the opportunities. If we are losing games and he's not playing well, Desmond will eventually start. I'm just not sold on Desmond Ridder being a starting caliber quarterback. I played with him. He's okay. He's not bad. I just know last year I had Malik Willis in a different franchise where I was the Seahawks, and just throwing deep balls to DK Metcalf is going to be amazing. Kind of cheesy, but I moved DK to tight end last year, and we all know who this Atlanta Falcons team has at tight end. But we'll get there. But speaking of running back room, Cordero Patterson, our glorified kick returner, who will probably never actually touch the field on offense. But then the man, the myth, the legend, one of the most hyped prospects, running back prospects since, honestly, the most hyped one since Saquon, and closest thing since Saquon. I mean, before Saquon, Bijan Robinson is actually a correct name. I'll probably still mess it up and call him Bijan, but Bijan Robinson as our RB 1, 2, and 3. There's no question about it. This is his backfield. He will get all of the carries. He will get all of the touches. Catching's kind of low, but I mean, for running back, 70 isn't bad. So it is what it is. But yeah, Bijan is going to be our running back. No question about it. There's nothing else that needs to be said. If I'm not mistaken, he's a superstar development, so he'll have abilities once we get those unlocked. It's Bijan, man. Bijan, like he's that guy. I have nothing else to say. But his backup, Tyler Algier, will actually be our starting fullback at the same time. So we'll have them both out there on the field just to give us a little bit of dynamism. We'll run a lot more like 12 personnel, 12, 22 personnel to get the fullback on the field. Make sure we got the tight ends out there on the field. Well, just one tight end at least. And then, go from there. It is what it is. So yeah, yeah, cool, cool, cool. Um, so yeah, moving on from the running back room, we got the fullback room. Keith Smith, the second, is still here. If I need a roster spot, sorry Keith, you'll be the one to get cut. I got a fullback that I'm keeping at running back, but it is what it is. Shout out to Keith. Moving to wide receiver. This is why I said the league has been open for a couple of days. I know you can see the second name on that list. Yes, I did indeed. I did indeed do that. So we have Drake London, 6'4", 213. He is going to be our number one alpha wide receiver. And then opposite of him, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Christian Watson in his second year, which I think yeah, so we got two second year wide receivers that are going to start for us. Christian Watson, I traded for him from the Packers. Don't know why they let him go. That 96 speed is going to be amazing, especially at 6'4". Like, there's Christian Watson is going to be one of the funnest parts of this team. So you got 6'4" Drake London, 6'4" Christian Watson, and then Cordero Hodge, I believe is how you say his name, not going to play. A.T. Perry is going to be our third wide receiver, and he is 6'5". This team is going to be very tall. Pass catchers are going to be very tall, and we're going to just try and honestly box people out, chuck the ball deep, high point a lot of these passes, and just let our guys go up and do what they do best. So definitely as the series goes on, the season goes on, you'll see this rating right here, this catching traffic will go up. A lot of our receivers will have high catching traffic. I'm gonna just try and focus on physical and playmaker for their upgrades just to get what we need. For context, I will be running the 49ers playbook. So that is why I'm sure I'll have the tight end, fullback, and then have these guys out there on the field. A.T. Perry is going to play in the slot. Christian Watson and Drake London are going to play on the outsides, just so there's not any confusion on that. Christian probably wouldn't. I love Christian, but I just don't think, yeah, like he's meant to be down the field. This is what it is. Drake, he's gonna be kind of everywhere, and then A.T. Perry, they don't all have their route running isn't horrible. It's just we got to get them to where they need to be. And I feel like with this receiving core, it will help Malik Willis a lot, especially with Bajan in the running game. Like, this running game is going to take so much pressure off of the passing game. I'm not really too worried about the passing game too much, because if I can run the ball the way I want to, the passing game will just be an extension of that. But the biggest thing is, as we get into the rest of this team, the defense is going to be where I'm going to have to figure things out, because if I want to be able to run the ball, grind out some wins, I got to be able to play good defense. And I did make a trade to help our defense. We'll get into that. But yeah, so this is our receiving room. Tight end room, I did let Jonnu Smith go. I traded Jonnu Smith for the defensive player that I traded for. But Kyle Pitts, this is Kyle Pitts' room. Like, I do not understand how Atlanta has not used him correctly. He already has a skill point. I don't even know what that's for. I'm putting it on blocking because, well, let me look at his ratings. Just genuinely shot it. Yes, it's going to go in blocking, because literally you can see everything else is green. Run blocking is red and yellow. So we're going to make you a tad bit better of a blocker, Kyle. But with that pass blocking, I don't need pass blocking. If it's a pass play, that boy gonna be out there. I need the run blocking. Anyways, X Factor, man, this is gonna be fun. He didn't have anything here, so I gave him grab and go. But this is gonna be fun having Kyle Pitts. I've never played with Kyle Pitts in Madden. Uh, I just like I said, I did. I don't even know if I said it. I did a practice to play with Desmond Ritter to make sure, like, hey, is this who I want to play with? No, it's not. So I went and got Malik Willis, but I threw a couple passes to Kyle, and good googly moogly, it was amazing. Offensive line, they're real people, but it's Madden, so they're not real people. Jake Matthews at left tackle, he is the anchor of this team. I will have to find somebody to back him up. That is the biggest thing with this Atlanta team. There is not a lot of depth behind these starters. But moving to guard, we got the young rookie Matthew Bergeron, I believe is how you pronounce that. He's going to get the start. Matt Hennessy, I'm trying to figure out where to put Matt just because I have Corey Lindstrom at left guard. I mean right guard. I think Hennessy's not the biggest guy. Bergeron's a little bit bigger. I might start Bergeron this year, and then kick him out to tackle next year, and have Hennessy start following. It's just Jake Matthews. It's just way too good. If anything, I would trade Jake Matthews for some high picks later in the season, depending on like how we're looking. But probably in the offseason would be the soonest I would even look to do something like that. The other option would be to move why can't I think of his name? Move Matt Hennessy. Jesus Christ. Move Matt Hennessy over to center. I'm kinda leaning that way just because it's like these guys aren't great. Matt Hennessy isn't the best either though, so it's kinda like they're all the same age. I don't get a thing for playing somebody that's the same age. But then you got Corey Lindstrom, which I'm not replacing him. Shout out to Corey. He is going to be a big part of our team for a very long time. And then Caleb McGarry. If I can find a replacement, I will replace him. But he is a around like just replacement level starter. He's an okay starter. He's the 14th rank. Like he is smack dead. If every team has a right tackle, which every team does, they have multiple probably. The 14th best one, he's the top half of the league guy average. Did not mean to hit X again. But now that we're all through the offense, we got all that taken care of. Moving on to the defense, Calais Campbell, I believe, is here for 1 year. If he wants to play another year, I'll resign him. If not, shout out to Calais Campbell for a great career. But he is a superstar. So which I didn't expect when I took over this team. So I'll take a superstar on defense. That's fine with me. Which surprisingly, Calais Campbell is a superstar, but Grady Jarrett's only a star. Just me, we're not too far removed when Grady Jarrett was regarded as one of the best interior rushers, and he still is. Like he is top of his game. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from the Calais Campbell, but to have Calais Campbell as a superstar and not Grady Jarrett doesn't really make sense to me. But, it is what it is. You can't have too many stacked players on one team, but I just believe their body of work. Calais wasn't even on this team last year. Grady Jarrett held this defense down as best as he could last season. Grady Jarrett should be a superstar. But moving on, Shelby Harris and David Anyamata are our two defensive tackles. We are running a 3-4, so they both won't see the field at the same time very often, if at all. But David Anyamata is going to be our starter just because he's a couple years younger, and we're paying him all this money, man. I got to get him out there on the field. If he gets hurt, Shelby Harris is right there to turn around and play for him. So it's all good. And then Albert Huggins, I remember hearing this name. I just don't remember like what impact he had from remembering the name. He's just he's a jag from his Madden ratings. He's 155th ranked defensive tackle. Like there's this at 26, there's nothing really I can do with you. I can trade you for a late round pick and hope I can get somebody at the same rating as you that's at least 2, 3 years younger and hope they develop. But that's kind of all you're getting from Mr. Huggins. Left outside linebacker, we got Bud Dupree. He's gonna back up Arnold Ebiketie, I believe is how you say his name, Ebiketie. If I'm not saying it correct, I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comment section, even though nobody's watching this. But Arnold Ebiketie will be our left outside linebacker, and he'll be starting for us. Like I said, we're running the 3-4, so he'll be our edge rusher basically, and then Bud Dupree will back him up. As of now, I'm debating just because our sub packages, like when we go dime nickel, I might move Bud Dupree as a starter for our base packages. So we're in base 3-4, he'll be out there, and then put Ebiketie out there on nickel dime rush down formations and things like that. I typically try and stay in nickel, but I try and make sure I actually do pay in base personnel just because I can get different matchups, things like that. You know how football goes. Middle linebacker, Caden Allens and Troy Anderson will be our two starters. Tate Davis will be our third. Yeah, hopefully we can get Troy Anderson to develop quickly and he take over and become, the next big thing. Caden Ellis isn't bad. I look forward to actually being able to play with him. I am for whatever reason, I am a Saints fan. So I messed up. Having Caden Ellis on a different team is going to be quite fun just because I've seen him play a lot. But for whatever reason, when it comes to Madden, I just refuse to take over my team. One of these years, I will play as the Saints and see where things go from there. But right now, the cap situation, I'm ready for a rebuild. But we're talking about the Falcons team. Troy Anderson is going to be great. I'm going to make him great. He's going to be my user a lot of the time when he's out there on the field just because of that 92 speed, 94 acceleration, 85 change of direction. This man is going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and it will be fun using him. Lorenzo Carter, don't know why he has number 0. I'm gonna keep it real. Unless Lorenzo Carter has like a breakout year and gives me 10 plus sacks, which I don't think he's done in his career yet, and I think they just signed him from New York. So he's on a 2-year deal. I'm gonna be honest, he'll get these 2 years to prove himself, but 4, 5, 1, 4, 4. Honestly, I don't know why Atlanta gave him this contract 2 years last year. He has an interception and he has 4, 8, 9, 14, 18. He has 18 career sacks in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. 18 career sacks in 6 years. I don't know. I can't do math. 18 into it's 5 years. Um, he needs a breakout season. I'm not gonna resign him. Honestly, I might trade him. He needs a breakout season for me to even consider re-signing him. Honestly, my first round pick will probably go to replacing Lorenzo Carter because I need a good edge rusher. If somebody comes available towards the trade deadline, there's a bad team. I try and keep these series somewhat realistic, but making a trade for Malik Willis while Desmond Ritter is here, trading for Christian Watson. I know those things aren't the most realistic. I try and keep things realistic for the most part, though. But those are players that I wanted to play with in Madden for the last 2 years. Well, Willis I did last year, but Christian Watson I didn't get a chance to play with last year, so I wanted to make sure I did it this year. So I traded for him. But yeah, Lorenzo Carter, he needs at least 10 sacks for me to consider not trading him this offseason for a bag of chips. Moving on. Corner AJ Terrell. I am hyped to play with one of the young shutdown corners in the league. It's going to be a great time. I love watching AJ Terrell's film, and I love watching AJ Terrell, period. Like I said, I'm a Saints fan, so I get to see AJ Terrell twice a season, along with Jeff Okuda, the former Lion. I loved Jeff coming out of Ohio State. I don't know why. I've always been a big man to man press type person. So Jeff in college was that a very man heavy press type of person. ended up in ended up in Detroit where they wanted to run a lot of zone, or I could have that backwards. I've always looked at Jeff Okuda as a man-to-man corner. I've always looked at AJ Terrell as a man-to-man corner. AJ thrives best in like a cover three type of system. I'm not gonna run. I mean, I'll run some cover three, but this is like I said, man-to-man press. I'm better than you. My guys are better than you. Show me otherwise. So with that, AJ Terrell, Jeff Okuda, I look at them as more man-to-man corners, get in somebody's face, bump and run, that type of thing. Then we also have Trey Flowers, big physical corner who will come in and play in the slot a lot of the times. And then also Greedy Williams will play a lot. Greedy Williams is somebody that I had on my Seattle Seahawks franchise last year, and Greedy Williams ended up becoming a 99 overall in the system that I run just because he is height, speed, coverage skills. Like he is the guy looking to everybody's looking to have when it comes to running a press man to man coverage system. So Greedy Williams will be our third cornerback basically, but we'll go four deep. With Trey Flowers playing, Greedy Williams will also play too. But AJ Terrell, Jeff Okuda, this is them. Trey Flowers, I believe, is under contract for this year and next year. It might just be this year. Yeah, so it's just this year. So and he's not interested in re-signing. Um, Trey Flowers will play, but it'll be a lot more greedy just because Greedy's 25, Jeff Okuda's 25, Terrell's 24. I mean 24, 24, and Trey Flowers 28. He just doesn't fit in with our timeline, honestly. So it is what it is. Clark Phillips, young guy, he's gonna play a lot too. Um, Dang, I did not realize he was that good and that young. So honestly, Trey Flowers might Trey Flowers might end up on the trade block. Yeah, because if I can get Clark Phillips to play, I'll probably get Clark Phillips to play. Honestly, I'll have to go in and show you the progression sliders that I have set up for this league. It promotes playing younger players. It promotes being intentional about who you're drafting, when you're drafting them, things like that. Free safety, that man Jesse Bates straight out the way. For those of you who do not know, I am technically from Fort Wayne, Indiana, just as the man Jesse Bates, who ended up going to Wake Forest. He is going to be our middle of the field safety. As you can see, deep zone KO, acrobat, and lurker. I probably am going to change this to deep out zone KO. So we got the ends and the out. He's just a lot of the time I'll be playing cover one, cover three, the occasional cover two, occasionally cover two. You'll probably see more cover four than you will see cover two. But you'll see a lot of man to man. This is why this deep end zone KO is going to be so important. And yeah, so he's got that 91 zone, that 79 man coverage. He is going to be our deep ball hawking free safety. And as you can probably tell, our strong safety is the person that we traded for, and he is going to be Isaiah Simmons, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals slash New York Giants, who he is playing for currently in real life. But he is going to be here, and he's going to ball out for us here. The the coverage stats aren't the best. He is the epitome of height, weight, speed, run. He is there to distribute. What am I looking for? The D word. Distract? No. Disrupt. Wow, couldn't think of the word disrupt. He is there to disrupt the running game. That's why I have him at strong safety. And as time goes on, I will be making sure that his pass coverage and zone get upgraded. The only issue is like it's very hard to upgrade the man coverage, which is the main thing I want to upgrade just because I'll have him playing in the box. He'll guard a lot of tight ends. So, as granted, luckily we play in the NFC South. We have the best tight end in the NFC South. So, at least for 6 games, he's not going up against an elite level tight end every season. But as we get him developed and everything, he should be a lot better. Just, I think the closest thing we have to an elite tight end in our division it, Mike Evans. Like, I mean, Taysom Hill, but he's not an elite level tight end. He's just a random mismatch issue occasionally. Like, nothing at all. Young Hue Ko. Young Hue Ko. I don't even need to say nothing. The man's name is enough. Like, do I need to say anything else? Like, Young Way Cool, our kicker. Bradley Pinion still around, kicking it. No pun intended. Get it? Because Bradley Pinion still around. He's a punter. He's kicking it. No pun intended. Anyway, yeah. So Bradley Pinion's our punter. I'm gonna be honest. You'll see Young Way Cool. I highly doubt you will ever see Bradley Pinion in this series unless I am inside the 10 yard, inside my own 10 yard line, and it's more than 4th and 5. I go for it all the time. There's no ain't no hole in my blood. But anyways, as y'all can see, I traded a 2nd round pick to get Christian Watson, and I traded a 4th round pick in the Isaiah Simmons trade. But then the 2 6th round picks were already here. There wasn't a 7th round pick, and then as you can see, the rest of these picks are all here for the 2 years following. So no, I didn't set the practice squad because we started this league as of week 1. But that is the rundown of our team. Let's go ahead and set our goals. I just
Bigger
thought about
season
that.
goal comes with
Oh,
higher
okay,
rewards,
okay.
but also higher risk.
Yes, I know. Okay, yeah, okay. So we're gonna go make playoffs, obviously. As you can see, I got a couple little people on this left hand side. So week 3, I will be playing a user. Week 4, I will be playing another user, and then I'm done playing users all season. Um, but this will be really big for me just because it'll just be fun. And honestly, I forgot. I do. So I play this Panthers game, and next week I play the Packers. So Christian Watson will get to play his former team next week. That traded him right before the season. So that's the other thing I was saying. I um I was originally going to be the Patriots. I made an entirely different video to be the Patriots and hired all of the scouts and everything I needed while I was the Patriots. I'm be honest, I really just don't feel like sitting here and doing all this. So we'll see if I do it before week 1. I mean, I have to play my game, and then there is the Dolphins and Chargers both have users, and they play each other. So gotta wait on them to play their game. But as you can see, everybody else has played their game. We have a Jags user, a Lions user, and a Bengals user, and then me, and then those two. So yeah, we got enough people. We got people out here, and we are going to have fun. As you can see, some stats are already there. Yeah, the Bengals out there throwing picks. Denzel Ward and Joker all have a pick. Is Rodney McLeod? Rodney McLeod isn't on the. He's not on the Browns, is he? Doesn't matter. Alua Content tackles Shaquille Leonard. I almost called that man Darius Leonard as I'm looking at Shaquille. Shaquille Leonard, 9 tackles. Jermaine Pratt, 7. We got a sack from Miles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, and DJ Reader. Jiminy Cricket. No, DJ Reader's on the Bengals. I was going to say, good God. But Miles Garrett, 2 tackles for a loss as well. Travis Kelsey, 2 touchdowns and a loss to the Lions. Evan Ingram, 10 catches, 179 yards. Oh my God. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5 catches, 136 yards. I can see all this stuff going on. After my game, I'm going to be honest, Bijan Robinson's going to be number 1. Uh, guy I watch on YouTube, that franchise guy, Marcus Whitman, he said it is more likely Bijan Robinson will run for 2,000 yards than it is he'll run for 1,000. I get to control Bijan Robinson. Then it's more likely he'll run for 2,000 yards than he will 1,000. I am quite okay and content with running the ball, running the shit out of the ball, and running it some more. You can call me Arthur Smith 2.0. But with all of that being said, the only other thing I want to go over just real quick, I did have one other user make some trades. Nobody else has really made trades. I don't believe. We'll run through the Jags roster real quick because I don't think they've made too many trades. Um, they did. They got rid of some receivers. So got rid of Marvin Jones, but still have Christian Kirk, Calvin Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Zay Jones, and Jamal Agnew. Which, good God, get rid of Jamal Agnew. You got Evan Ingram, and then I don't think there was any big moves. Khan, Trayvon Walker, got Darius Williams on the. Yeah, Darius Williams is on the Jags in real life. Yeah, so it doesn't look like too many. Jabril Peppers is a Jaguar now, along with Rashad Jenkins still there and Andrew Weingard. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And the other one is the Lions, Teddy Bridgewater, but Anthony Richardson did end up here. Honestly, yes, me. I kind of get why you went with Richardson, but at the same time, would have went with Hendon Hooker, who's already on the team. Wouldn't have had to trade Jared Goff nor the assets to get him. But Richardson is 4 years younger, and like I said, this league is meant to promote playing young players. So Richardson is probably the best call. Jahmyr Gibbs is still here. David Montgomery is no longer here. That I did not know. David Montgomery is no longer a Detroit Lion. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, and Anthony Schwartz. That is a steal of a pickup because that 96 speed is going to be a big thing. Sam Laporta, and yeah. So honestly, I think the rest of the team might be the exact same. You got Kwity Paye, who I believe was already on the roster. Aiden Hutchinson, Odigizua, I believe. Yeah, Odigizua. Odigizua, and then we're gonna move on because y'all not about to do that to me. Zaven Collins, who I believe did get traded from the Cardinals, like not in real life in this league. And then you got Alexander Johnson, Jack Campbell, and Derek Barnes. He did also trade for Marcus Davenport, who he has playing on the edge. Which, hey, it might work out. That power move out there, I hope he's not having him dropping the coverage anytime soon. And then that's new. I am quite sure Dory Jackson was still in New York. I could be wrong. Check the player card. I could have sworn he was. I mean, obviously no games have been played, but I definitely thought he was in. Yeah, I could have sworn he was in New York still. But anyways, doesn't matter. Dory Jackson's the line. Tracy Walker and Chauncey Gardner Johnson. C.J. Gardner Johnson. The boy name is Chauncey Gardner Johnson. But yeah, so those are pretty much all the trades that have been made. If any more come up, I will keep you guys all up to date. But like I said, this is just an introduction video to the series. I'm gonna go ahead and probably live stream this game right after. So yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all boys on the flip side. I appreciate y'all watching the video for whoever is watching this video. And yeah, peace.